Ooh, it's about that time, man. It's about that time, that YuGiOh Banlist season, man. It's coming up strong, and I'm gonna try to get to it pretty early before all the other YuGiTubers try to do that shit too, right? So, for those who don't know, now you know. We always get a list after Nats, but before Worlds. It's happened like that ever since Konami's been doing their 3-month shit, right? So, as probably being somebody you've never seen before, I'm NextLevelMetaMAN, and we're gonna talk about the possibilities of what's gonna be hit on the list. Now, for one, disclaimer. Konami here recently has been acting pretty strange with their fucking list, right? They've been employing a new strategy that's a little hard to really get a grasp of. You see, they take what's supposed to be hit and don't hit it. Now let me explain. Last ban list, we was expecting some big meta change after they eliminated Pepe off the face of the fucking earth. But you know what they did? Nothing. They slapped Kozmo on the wrist with a damn E-Telly to 2, which honestly didn't even do anything. That's basically like telling us, no, you ain't doing shit with E-Telly. Y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want to, right? But now we know they still trying to make money. And it's not like they could eliminate Monarchs, because then what would the competition be for Kozmos? At the same time, they didn't know PK Fire was going to be the kind of shit that it was. They knew Burning Abyss was going to be okay, but I don't think they knew that shit was going to be like meta defining. The point of this video is to list out the possibilities. If they do decide to hit things, if they do decide to break decks, if they do decide to hit the meta just right to knock it down a peg for the rest of the decks that come after. Another disclaimer is I don't think they're gonna try to get rid of Kozmos, even if things in this video may allude to that, because Blue Eyes can fight Kozmo, right? With that being said, I think Monarchs are gonna get a pretty fucking heavy hit, right? But let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Kozmo, right? You see, my idea of Kozmo, and I feel like the way they're gonna try to hit Kozmo is, I don't think they're gonna try to break the deck. Now, if they were gonna try to break the deck, my boy Kozmo Town, my boy Dark Destroyer, y'all looking a little rough. But my friend actually hit me with a pretty good perspective on them hitting Kozmo. He was telling me that no matter what they do to Kozmo, unless they go through the archetype and just start hitting like everything, shit's still gonna be good. You know? Whether or not they got Dark Destroyer and things of that nature, they still have pretty strong ass motherfuckers that can't be targeted. By the end of the day, that shit is always gonna be good. Also, they can float into smaller ships and float back into, you know, their base, which could be Dark Lady, which could be Tin Can, all the other things, which is just gonna speed up the deck, and then you're just gonna have it turn into trap variants and things like that. And trust me, nobody wants this shit. So it hit me with the realization that one of the best ways I think that they could slow down Kozmo is to take away its graveyard potential. Eliminate its use from cards like Call the Haunted and Oasis and things of that nature, because to be honest with you, with Kozmos, how they used to be was, it was kind of difficult for them to get multiple ships on board. And if they got multiple ships on board, to be honest, we're kind of fucked, man. I would like it to go back to that. I would like to go back to attack with Farm Girl. Whatever you do, don't let Farm Girl attack. Don't let Farm Girl do damage. That's what I liked. Now, with that, I'm gonna petition with the ban of Tin Can, right? A lot of people may disagree with that, but I feel like banning Tin Can will hurt the deck's consistency, it'll hurt the deck's power, and hurt its explosiveness with cards like Call the Haunted and Oasis and all that other shit. I mean, it's too good the way it is right now. And I really don't think Konami was intending Kozmos to be using Call the Haunted. I just don't see it. Like, I expect them to see Kozmos as, if they touch the graveyard, that's bad news. And it's just like, not like that anymore. Sorry, it's thundering outside. I don't know if it will affect the video at all, but I don't really care. There's also a lot of talk with them hitting Kozmo Town, which I kind of agree with, man. Kozmo Town is way too much utility, and the fact that you destroy it, it searches another copy, completely nullifies any risk in having the card, any downside of getting it destroyed. And I can't dig that. I honestly think they should limit Kozmo Town, because to be honest with you, the fact that you can get it destroyed, search another one, yeah, sure. If it gets destroyed, go ahead and search a Kozmo monster or trap or whatever the hell you want to do. But just to be able to do that shit over and over and over again is just too fucking good. And I honestly think, if anything, Kozmo Town's getting limited. So as a bit of a wrap up, I'm thinking Tin Can, Ban, Dart Destroyer, limited, and Kozmo Town, limited. And with that, I don't think Kozmo should probably even be hit in the future. With that being said, I don't think that even with the hits that I think Konami should do if they want to take the deck down a serious peg, is going to change the deck's competitiveness. The deck is still going to be good. The deck is pretty much, they built a really, really like strong, solid archetype. And even if what I say comes to pass, the deck will still be pretty prevalent in the game. On to Monarchs. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little biased. The deck punishes any deck made before the year 2016, which I can't get down with. Especially with the deck winning WCQ. Axe that shit. Now, I feel like they're going to be really particularly difficult on Monarchs. I'm going to go with the tried and true Pantheism 1, Stormforth to 1. With those two things to 1, honestly, let Monarchs have what they let them have their 3 domain. That shit's fine. But what that's going to do is it's going to hurt their consistency. And it's going to hurt their power plays. And if they're a problem in the future, then I guess we gotta go for domain too. Because for a lot of decks now and in the future, having a domain lock basically means MST to play the game. And the issue with domain over things like Vanity's Emptiness, Skill Drain, and all those things, other things, is that domain is searchable. Highly searchable with the Monarch deck around it. So at that case, it becomes a problem. Moving on to Pendulum. Pendulum in general, they fucked up with the most recent Pendulum decks, and they fucking know it. They know they fucked up with Pendulum. The problem with Pendulum right now is that they made too many good generic shit. It's like for the Exceed era, if they made 50,000 tour guides, different variations of fucking tour guide, but guess what? It's all generic, so you can use them everywhere. That's stupid. That's dumb. And if it's archetype centric, things would be a lot easier. But the issue is that you're able to mix and match your shit. Pendulum's already the most explosive mechanic the game has ever seen. Now, granted, I'm not a Pendulum hater, but section it off into its little archetype, man. That way you can better control it. That way we don't have to have lists with fucking 8 Pendulum cards on it. I think the biggest nail in the coffin. Stop beating around the bush. Let's end this shit right here. Get rid of Monkey Board. Just get it out. It's gone. And that hurts almost every single variant there is. Current also needs to be looked at. Now, Current is pretty interesting because it's searchable. It's searchable through the magical magician bitch that I'll have up here somewhere. But so maybe putting it at 1 wouldn't be the best way to go about it. So I'm either going to be petitioning this for ban or limit. I honestly think they're going to limit it. That's what I think Konami is going to do when it comes to that certain archetype. Those are the only 2 things that I think that Pendulum has a problem with. I feel like if they go ahead and hit those 2 things, and they stop releasing all this generic Pendulum shit, maybe we won't have more Pendulums on the ban list next time. Moving on to some generic shit, right? I'm gonna wrap this up pretty quickly. Solemn Strike. That shit stay in the 3. Now granted, now don't get me wrong, NextLevelMetaMAN, what do you mean? It's like cheaper than Solemn Warning, what the fuck? It's not good. I don't think it's gonna be hit on this list. I really don't. I think that Konami wants traps to be a part of the game, period. And we get to the later part of my list, you're gonna see traps are gonna be hurting. Until they make better traps to keep up with the game that they've created, Solemn Strike is gonna have to stay either at 3 or 2. I don't think it's gonna be touched, because it's in the Mega 10 as well, probably. I haven't looked at any list, but I don't really think I need to confirm that. I think it's pretty fucking obvious if you ask me. So with all that being said, I think Solemn Strike is gonna go untouched. In the future, yes, Solemn Strike is a limit-worthy card, for sure. But that won't matter unless we have cards to take its place. And right now, Solemn Strike is the only damn trap in this game that's putting in a hell of a lot of work. So I think Konami's gonna want to keep it around. Next up is his fan favorite, Card of Demise. Card of Demise is an issue. If anything on this list previously goes into effect, it is under the understanding that Demise is either put to one or banned. I'm gonna need that shit banned. If this meta is taken down a peg, Card of Demise cannot exist. Fuck that card. I don't care what rogue deck people want to put that shit in. Card of Demise is pretty fucking stupid for stun decks. And the only reason that junk isn't broken right now is because the decks that we have are fast enough to overpower it, even with their stun. And the issue of meta decks using Card of Demise, hell no. Hell no. Get that shit out of here. I don't ever want to see this card again. I ain't a hater. I like the fact that Gravekeepers are showing up in the meta. And I love the fact that Spellbooks are showing up in the meta. But no, the card's stupid. It needs to go. And it's just a matter of time before another meta deck rears its ugly head and says, hey, you can use that Card of Demise shit too. Now when it comes to old PK Fire. You see, I forgot to put this section before the other section, so I'm just gonna do it now. My boy Dante, you've been around this game for at least, I wanna say 3 years now. It's your time, man. It's time to leave, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. You have literally carried so many rank 3 archetypes on your back, and with Beatrice, it gets even worse. It's time to go, man. I don't think they're gonna ban you, but I think they're gonna limit you. And with that, all that Burning Abyss shit goes along with it. They can't cycle through you anymore with Seer. That shit is gone. I am okay with Phantom Knights existing, but I am not okay with you being the bridge between Phantom Knights and BA. I'm not okay with that. That's a pretty fucking dangerous thing. And with Dante being limited and or banned, which I don't think they're gonna ban, because how the fuck you gonna play Beatrice now? But with him going, Terratop has no reason at all to be touched. Rank 3 decks are fine. Let rank 3 decks be rank 3s. Because I don't know if y'all know this. Rank 3 toolboxes kinda shit. I mean, granted, you know, now we have Breaksword, Dante, and Beatrice. And those were the good cards. The rank 3 toolbox is still pretty ass. Let's not get it twisted. So Terratop doesn't have to go anywhere as long as you deal with the actual problem. And I can still play PK Hero. That may be a biased outlook, but so what you got? As a bit of a wrap up, I would like to just clarify the fact that this was more a possibility discussion rather than an actual prediction. Right? You should not base your buying and your market, knowledge off of these suggestions, which who the fuck am I, right? So you probably wouldn't do that anyway, but these are the things that I feel like you should keep your eye on. These are the things you should probably get rid of and such of that nature. If you haven't already got rid of Kozmo and Monarchs, you might be shit out of luck, dog. But I will like to refrain everyone from assuming that this ban list is going to be as doom and gloom as we think. Konami has had this trend of not hitting problem cards or problem decks and just letting the game power creep them out slowly but surely. Shadows and BA and Satellarknights and Necrons stayed on a lot longer than a lot of other decks in the past. A deck would have a format or two. They would be brushed to the side and welcome a new meta. That doesn't seem to be happening anymore. But I really, really hope Konami does. Now, if you made it this far, kept up with all my bullshit and all of that, I thank you. Hope you subscribe and comment down below what you guys think. Either agree with me or call me a fucking idiot. But I do want to know the community's opinion on these type of things. Like the video if you like it, and dislike it if you think I'm a fucking asshole. Alright, peace.